Go. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Fresh Crack Friday. And like we promised last episode, we split the decision on the single barrel, which is Keith's go-to, and I picked the Rochester Whiskey Enthusiast barrel pick for mine to move on. So we're going to wild card them both in the battle today versus the small batch Bowman.
I'm ready.
The Bowman, and then the wild card Russell's.
It's the Bowman battle.
The Bowman battle. So this is their small batch, and before we started going, Keith brought up a real good point. He's like, what is a small batch? A small batch could be as little as 2 barrels. It could be 200 barrels. Depends on the size of the distillery, what they classify as their small batch, rather than like their straight runs and stuff like that of, their normal, bottlings and stuff like that. So this is the lowest proof that we'll be having today in this, kind of three-way battle. This does come in at 90 proof, which is kind of around the same for all the small batches. Typically, they're 90s and 100s. But, yeah, and then we'll see how this fares today. And you see it's got its nice little name tag on it. We got the other ones poured out already over here. We're using the original Great Whiskey Challenge glasses to keep all of our letters and everything square so there's no bias. Because we learned last time that there was a little bit of bias maybe in the past, so we'll take that right off. Maybe a little bias. So, but yeah, so let's crack her open. And I pre-cracked the little label so it doesn't look like I'm a raccoon trying to get in your garbage can over here as I clean this off. So, yeah, so we got, this is actually called Bowman Brothers, not John J. Bowman. Don't know if they're doing different branding for the small batch versus a single barrel, if that's why. But like we were saying before, Buffalo Trace distilled, shipped to Virginia. They redistill it and then bottle it, and then of course, or barrel it and then bottle it in Virginia. So
double distilled.
Double distilled, essentially. Yep. So kind of cool process, and I like the old school tax stamps.
Yeah, that's cool. Right on the top there.
Yeah, that they got on both of them. That one's got the 100, this has got the 90. So let me see if I can hold this baby down. Quiet on the set for the cork pop. Oh gosh,
that was really anticlimactic.
That was horrible.
That was probably the worst one.
That was no cork pop.
Not really, huh?
No cork pop whatsoever. Sour apple.
Yeah, for sure. It's pure sour
apple bomb.
Yeah.
Almost like apple cider vinegar smell. Different. Definitely different. So,
I was excited for this one until that cork pop.
Yeah, the cork pop definitely loses a couple points here on the cork pop. For sure. But let you pour her up. There's a nice little pour line right there where the barrel is. Isn't that convenient?
Oh, yeah, that is nice.
Isn't that convenient? So, we'll see how this small batch stacks up. We'll see if I can pour this all over myself this time.
If you do, I might laugh a little.
That's okay. That's fine. Understood with it.
We going for a deep sniff or a little sniff?
I would go little first before it.
Got a nice
that apple
nose.
There. That sour apple I got on the cork is not smelled in that glass. I get more of that apple though. I do get apple, but not like the sour.
Not over ethanol-y smell to it.
Yeah, it's nice. That smells really good.
It does smell really good.
It smells a lot like the Bowman that I did on the which actually ended up being that one. Just for comparison, it gave me a real appley vibe. Happened to be.
Does it smell sweet to you?
Oh yeah, sweet apple. Yeah. Sweet apple.
I'm definitely getting that sweet smell. No spice smell to it to me.
No spice. But maybe a little bit. After I swirled a little bit more, maybe I got a little bit of that sour apple, that vinegar kind of smell with it, apple cider vinegar, which I don't mind. It's not bad. It's not all that, but got a lot of apple smell to it.
It does. I don't like that slight vinegar smell.
No, that's a little bit of a put off, but it's not a horrible one.
No.
And again, this is going to be the cheapest bottle and probably the most readily available bottle.
Right.
I know that K&M at the time we're shooting this has this in stock.
Right.
I've seen this at a couple other stores in stock as well. So, this one's going to be more readily available than the single barrel. The single barrel I was able to find at Saglin Bellies, but by the time you're watching this, I don't know if it'll still be there.
Right. No, how long?
Depends on when. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Depends on, or Wednesday. Depends on if Keith likes the other single barrel. He might go buy everything, and you guys might be SOL anyway. But well, I'm ready to take a taste on this. So cheers.
It's definitely not as sweet as the J. Bowman.
Not as sweet as it smelled.
No, definitely not.
It's got a lot of apple cider vinegary taste to it.
It's definitely not as complex as the J. Bowman.
No, very simple. And again, they're going for a uniform flavor of a small batch with it. So you're going to get some with that. It's got like a bitter apple, almost apple cider vinegar. I think that smell translated over to the taste for me with it.
I'm not a huge fan.
Not a big fan of that one. I mean, we'll see. Like I was telling Keith too, this is the older style bottling. The new ones have a sticker here with like the port finished or the small batch or whatever it might be, single barrel, different colored stickers with what they're bottled, what kind of bottles they are. So, we'll see. Maybe the next small batch is a little bit better. Maybe this small batch just wasn't a good batch. And like I said, when I did it on the podcast, the single barrels were drastically different, which I was to expect. But, small batch, you're going to get a little bit more consistency with them. So,
not to say that I wouldn't drink this, because I definitely...
This is more off the line of no longer a Friday pour, but an everyday.
Exactly.
And at the $30 price point, 26, 27, I think it fits pretty good with that.
What I'm really liking about the Bowman series is when we've tasted these Bowmans, they're right on point with their price level. We've done multiple now where we're saying that it's either above or below the price level of where we expect to pay for that bottle, and that with that complexity, that flavor, and that, just the overall feel of that bottle, where when I drink this, I'm like, okay, that's a $30 bottle. Or that's, the John J. Bowman, the $50,
$60 bottle.
Yeah, so they're kind of, that's another part, like, not just about taste and flavor and everything, but bang for your buck. I'm thinking that they're kind of hitting the mark with their price. Where that $17.92, I would pick this Bowman Brothers over the $17.92.
I agree.
And in that kind of price range. So
I agree.
Kudos to the Bowman brand
for a good product.
For hitting that price point.
And again, it's still Sazerac based Buffalo Trace juice, but that second sip was definitely better than the first.
I agree. It kind of grows on you. What I really like about this is being less proof. It's smooth.
It's easy going.
Yeah, it's really smooth.
Again, not a lot of complexity with it.
No.
Without the proof, not going to stand up in a mixer. But if you're looking for something you can drink neat, something to maybe put over an ice cube, if you got somebody that's getting new into it, a friend, family, or your wife, or whatever, something like that, where I keep trying to get my wife away from the Jim Beam vanilla, but she really likes the Jim Beam vanilla. She likes that heavy vanilla, sweeter flavor with it. She can't really trying to get her into that proof, point where it.
So I don't know. Good. I sent you a picture the other night of a bourbon I had it over ice. Because so I typically drink bourbon with ice, even in Scotch too. But this is one that I would not put over ice because I think the ice would dull it down a little too much.
Take the last little bit of that flavor out of it. Yeah, because you're getting down in proof.
Right. So I mean, if you're looking to try one neat, this is a really good choice to try neat.
Yeah, it's probably in that same category as that Elijah Craig that you had for a warm up.
Yeah,
a little quarter-ounce pour that I gave you to get a little palate starter. And this is my first whiskey of the day. This is Keith's second taste.
Yeah,
the first one was a quarter ouncer. So I mean,
I didn't have any before coming over here.
Right. It's good, man. I do enjoy this.
It's weird that first sip I took after smelling it, I wasn't enjoying it. Now after having a few sips, I'm like, all right, I'm digging this more.
But the flavor profile of it is good flavor up front. That nice apple, kind of a crisp apple, like a tart apple.
Yep.
That sour, funky vinegar was gone after the first sip. I didn't get that anymore.
Yeah.
I think that was just my palate getting acclimated to it. But now I think it's a real nice $30, one to maybe pick up if you're looking for a Virginia whiskey to add to your shelf. It is a little bit different flavor profile, for sure. It doesn't have that Buffalo Trace Sazerac profile.
And it definitely doesn't have the sweetness of the John Jay.
Of that single barrel.
Yeah, that single barrel, especially when you smell. So, a question for you, other people watching might think, I don't know if they would think about this too, but so I don't know much, but I know when people open wine and let it air, it produces a different flavor. So we just opened this. We did the fresh crack, and that initial smell was that vinegar smell.
Yep.
Would that change as it's just sitting here in our glasses?
Oh yeah, as the alcohol evaporates and whatnot and stuff like that, it's going to obviously bring out different stuff. But no, and I think, and that's what people say is once bottles get down past the shoulder, you might hear some guys say they taste different. They open up a little bit more. You get more flavor.
Yeah.
But the fresh crack is what you're gonna taste. Buying a brand new bottle, and that's where we're giving our honest opinion. Is this was a brand new bottle?
Yep.
To the brought down to the bar or whatever. Let's try it, taste it, and see what the honest first opinions are on it.
So pick that up and smell it, and tell me what you think. Now after having a few sips. Do you get that vinegar smell?
No.
I don't
I think the vinegar gets off the top. I think that's just whatever ethanol was up in the neck.
Yeah.
Whatever ethanol came off and originally after I poured it. And again, first whiskey of the day. It's going to be a little bit harsh. That's why I start with like a 90 or something to warm up. But this is definitely growing on me. A lot of nice apple, like green apple. If you're looking for something that has a nice, clear smell profile and you want to try to learn about different smells with different bottles and stuff, if you're looking for something to pick up apple, you can pick it up on the nose, you can pick it up on the palate.
Yeah.
Really I enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's definitely an enjoyable bottle. Am I gonna keep one on stock all the time? No, probably not. But I think at $30, it's worth a try for somebody for sure. Yep. And if you like that nice apple profile, it could be right up your alley for a steal of a price. I think at $30, I think it's a great price for that bottle.
I would probably pay $40 for that bottle myself. The one thing, the big standout to me is the profile. The taste profile is very linear from the front of your mouth to the back of your mouth.
There's no change.
It doesn't really change much at all. So if you try this and you like that profile up front, you're gonna love it. The whole drinking experience or whatever you want to call it of taking a sip. And it's not a bad thing. It's just different.
Yeah.
It's definitely different, but the more sips I take on this, the more I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I think it gets better as it goes.
And maybe this is, so maybe as I'm just thinking here, I buy a bottle of bourbon, open it, and let it set for a few minutes.
Let it set for a while. And then there's people that say that, set it down, let it go for 5 minutes. And we're, 10, 12 minutes into this video now, so that's sat in the glass for a little bit. That's opened up on its own.
Yeah.
You hear people talk about, like you said, all the time with wine. Let them sit, let them open up.
There's a word for it, though. What the heck is that word?
I don't know.
I'm not a wine person. If somebody knows that word, leave a comment for us so we know.
Let the air get to it. Let it
aerate, but that's drain.
Emulsify?
No, that's too big of a word for me. I don't know how to spell that.
No, I don't either. But I think the true test to this, and again, we do have these two poured, and they've been sitting now for about 10 minutes.
Yep.
To be total disclosure with it, to be fair with it, I'm going to pull out my glasses. I'm going to pour my third, let Keith mix them up, and then I'm going to have Keith go in the other room really quick. I'll mix up his glasses, and then we're going to rank them and try to pick our winner for this little podium sheet that's right there. So I'll pour mine, and I'll put my glasses out here, let Keith rearrange them, and let's see which one of these ends up being the victor.
Why was that?
Did we do halves?
Whatever you want. Man.
Yeah, the cork pop on this is not. Even that one was not.
It was better than the first.
It was better than the first, but still wasn't hardly there. I just want to make sure that we got the same amounts in these glasses.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, so we did half ounce.
Yeah.
So
those are yours?
I'll let you mix mine up. Actually, I'll just pour yours.
Yeah, that's fine.
Might as well. While we're trying to save a step here.
I'll spill it. You're way better at pouring it like that than I am.
I practiced. A little bit more practiced. That's all. So, but yeah. So I'll let Keith mix mine up. I don't care what they're already labeled on the bottom with the Great Whiskey Challenge. They got like a little letter on the bottom, and that corresponds with the name tag.
Gotcha.
So I made sure we were drinking out of the C glasses for this one when we started.
Good.
To make sure that we don't have any issues with it. And I'll put yours up here just to...
See, I'm going to like this better because they're so all the same.
Yep, everything. And the color is really not that much different either.
It really isn't. I'm kind of surprised about that.
So I'll let Keith mix them up. I'll go in the other room, and then I'll be back shortly.
All right, guys, this is going to be fun because last time I really failed at this, thinking I had the John Jay. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go. Get them all lined up real nice. All right, good.
All right.
It's my turn.
And Keith, step in the other room. All right, we're good to go.
Here I come.
Here you come.
I'm going to smell mine first this time.
I'll smell them all first. I had a little bit of a floater in that one. I don't know what it was.
I didn't do it, I promise.
That's okay. Who knows what it was? That's all right. Could have been on the bottom. All right. So I mixed Keith's up really good. He mixed mine up really good. That way there's no bias with any of this.
None.
We'll sip them and try them. Which we might be tasting different ones at different times too, which is what's cool about this.
That's gonna get really different.
So we'll see, what we pick up with them. I'm gonna go left to right. You can,
all right,
whatever order you want to go in.
I really screwed this up last week.
I watched it back. We actually called both of our calls good.
So when you're doing a blind test like this, kind of run me through what you're doing, so you're not creating like a mental bias, like that's it.
Yep. So what I'm doing is I'm not looking at necessarily which one's which.
Mm-hmm.
When you have two of them, it's kind of a little bit easier to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have them side by side, what I try to do is I try to rank which one I like better.
Yeah, okay.
I don't try to shoot for a specific bottle or what I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
There was stuff I picked up when we did this last time that I liked more because we had the turkey. I knew the familiarity with it.
Right.
And it just was my more palate that day. It might be that the Bowman's my palate on a different day.
Right.
But I go for what my nose is telling me, and then what my taste buds are obviously telling me on there.
Sure.
And try to rank them as I go. Sometimes people write down little notes and stuff as they go with blind tests. I would recommend water between sips.
I'm definitely doing that this time.
Yep. And like I said, I try to go down through them left to right, smell it, take a minute, process it, sip it, and then move on to the next glass. So this is going to be a fairly long episode. I mean, we're already at 19 minutes, which is about what we average. But now that we got the blinds in here, it adds another complexity. So
yeah,
I'm
a little
going
more fun.
My first glass, and I'm going to make sure I don't look at the bottom and stuff like that.
No cheating.
No cheating.
I'm going to have a sip of water first.
I got to bury my nose in this one, but they've been sitting for a bit. So maybe this is one that sat for a bit. And this is what's going to be cool is we're going to rank these, and then we're going to find out real time which is which.
I have a feeling we're going to have different rankings.
It could be. Yeah, is right. I'm going to actually go down and smell all of them.
Oh, you are? Okay, now I got to do this.
I am.
I'm gonna follow your lead because this is the first time for everyone watching that I've never done anything like this. So this is
other than the blind last week, but that was 2.
Yeah, that was 2, and this will be a little bit more challenging.
Different. Okay, that was not what I expected. The nose, I'm going with glass number 2 for the smell, and then this one, and then the first one is my last for the smell. Anyway, of them.
Ooh,
and they're all different, all very different.
I think. Oh man, I'm glad I smelled them.
Yeah,
because I kind of know where I'm ranking them on smell. There's one that's very distinct to me.
Yeah, one very distinct. It's that third one for me is the most distinct one.
My third one is the most distinct.
Mm-hmm. The third, this one.
Yes,
you're saying.
My far right.
Yeah, my far right is my most distinctive smell. This one I like the best. This one I like second, kind of because of the uniqueness of the smell.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if people were following along with the mix-up matchup, they know which ones we're smelling right now. We don't. And then this one I would put last just because of how simple it is and how basic that smell is on it and really hard to pick up. So
I think that through the mixing, ours are similar in the order.
It might be. It's possible.
Okay, I'm going
to taste my first glass, my one on the left. Definitely is not tasting how it smelled.
No.
Sharp. Spice. Definitely got some spice with that one. Definitely doesn't smell like the nose. I got no spice on the nose, no nothing like that. It was a very, very faint, sweet smell.
I think somehow we mix them exactly the same.
That's possible. It's absolutely possible.
Man. I'm going for the second.
I got a very weird finish on that first one. At the tail end of it, that first one, I had a very unique flavor I've never had before.
Okay. This is going to be really funny if we have the same order.
It's possible. It's not impossible. I wish we could pause this and then watch it to know what we're gonna do and what we're saying about each of these. We'll have to we're gonna watch this back after we finish this, just to see how we mixed them up.
Because that one for me was that linear flavor.
Mm-hmm. The simple,
just
easy going. I got that same
easy, smooth.
But coming off of that spice bite, if we do have the same one there, that spice bite is going to make that seam. But this one's got longer linger.
It does.
Than I remember on the small batch anyway.
So that my far left is that spice.
Yeah.
And if I am remembering taste buds correctly, that spice is hard not to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very enjoyable, and still I kind of feel this one on my palate. Not the heat, but the flavor, even after my little sip of water.
It lingers.
This one lingered for me. The middle one did.
In a good way.
More so than the first one did. I got some additional linger on that one through the water.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. Take a sniff on that third one. Tell me what you smell. Right at just instant.
Brown sugar.
Yeah, brown sugar. Brown sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
Like baking brown sugar.
Like pure sweetness.
Yeah. Not like a sweet, like a brown sugar baking sugar on this one.
But definitely sweet.
Yeah, but a sweeter baking profile than yeah.
Great. That's the word I will use to describe that sip.
Char. I got barrel char on that one, on the tail of it, like a smoky char taste, which I really like in my bourbons. But this one, it's like smoky, and I don't remember smoke out of any of those.
No, you saying that is kind of surprising to me because I'm not.
You're not getting that.
I'm not getting that, but I'm getting.
You're getting that brown sugar sweet.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
As it kind of sits on your tongue, it's still changing taste a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not too hot as far as proof. Yeah, that's tasty. I'm so curious if we have the same order now. Now, as I'm sitting here drinking and hearing what you have to say and what I'm feeling and thinking.
I gotta go back to that first one.
Yeah, I do too. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Because I could rank this right now.
Mm-hmm.
That this one, because of the easygoingness and simplicity, this tastes like the small batch, in my opinion. The straightforward. These ones, I'm gonna have to go back to back with these. This one, I know what I'm getting with it. I'll probably do both of these, see what I think, and then go back to that one.
Yeah.
Again, trying to wean down as I'm going through this, and I'm not a professional. None of us are professionals.
I'm a rookie.
I've done blind pours like this, but only like in my buddy's garage and stuff like that, and down here at the bar once in a while. But I want to go back and forth between my first and third glass. This one is pretty easy going, go with the flow for me, so I'm going to keep that one separate. And then I can't decide what I like and don't like about these from tasting them at opposite ends. So I'm going to try them both and see what I think with it.
What I'm getting right now for people watching is like as I'm doing this and going from 1 to 1 to 1, it changes.
You pick and pull different things out of different bottles.
It really. So this for everyone watching, this is the first time I've ever done a blind test like this with anyone.
It's very fun.
I've never done it with any alcohol. Hell, I've never even done it with non-alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend trying it at home just for fun, because it changes as I went from the left to the right here and kind of back to that first one. Going back to that first one, it didn't taste the same as my first sip on that one. So I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought that was going to be a little bit more unique than these two to my right, and it wasn't. So I'm kind of shocked by that.
And it forces you to take that second and think, where's the difference? What am I tasting? What is it? Something I enjoy? Because that's what this blind is all about for us. Is where our palates enjoy what we're trying with this. So,
and the last blind we did, I rushed it. I rushed to a conclusion without processing the smell.
I think you let your head go to it, and once you decided what was what, you're just like
done. Instead
of saying, I like this glass the best.
Right. Exactly. Oh, now I'm like undecided. Completely undecided right now.
I need to get back to this one.
Man, this is tough. This is way harder than I thought it was going to be.
It picks and pulls different stuff every time. All right, I'm going to go to the middle. Just because I want to give this one a fair shake. This one, as you can tell, I haven't been drinking that much of it because it's easy going and simple for me.
I think the water chaser in between changes things.
Absolutely. Definitely. So I know.
You think you know?
I think I know. And we'll do my ranking. And then we'll let Keith go through and do his ranking. I think glass number 1 for my flavor profile today is going to be my winner. Put this back here. I think this was my first one for my winner for what I feel today. This one just has a little bit too much spice, funk, and char to be my number 1, but it's one that I really liked. I'm going to put that in my second. And then, like I said, that middle one was just too
Bland.
kind of bland for me.
Yeah.
So with that being said, now I want to reveal what I picked. I think this is the Bowman single barrel. I think this is the turkey, the Russell's pick. So I'm going to put that in second this week. And then I think this one is the small batch. So this would be letter C, this would be A, and this would be B for me. There's the Bowman.
John Jay.
Single barrel. And there's the turkey in second. And then that puts this one. Obviously, the small batch is not moving on because it's got a third place. So to be fair with this, to see which one moves on, first place gets 3 points.
Okay.
Second place gets 2 points. Third place gets 1 point. So right now, the Bowman single barrel has 3 points. The turkey has 2 points, and the small batch has 1 point. And I'm pretty impressed that I nailed them.
I'm really nervous because literally in the last 20 seconds, I changed my.
You changed your
thoughts.
what you liked, what you liked the best. So don't
which
go.
is weird.
So like I tell people with this, don't go off of what you think they are, because I wanted to put that char and that funk first because I picked it out. I saw that was turkey when I had that char with it. These two tasted very similar. The Bowmans, I did get a lot of similarities.
Yeah, for
trying
sure.
them all together. But the turkey like funk spice was just not my flavor today right now. But something I do enjoy, more complexity. Both of these were very complex, which we would expect, like we said, $50, $60 bottles. And that's where the 30, I think, falls short. It's going to be hard for a $30 bottle to jump up, I think, and take this spot.
All right, so I'm going here.
Okay.
You ready? John Jay.
Is that your winner?
That's
the one you like the best.
Yes, that's the one I like the best.
This
would be, and I could be completely wrong, the small batch.
Okay.
There. And I would say third, Russell Reserve.
Okay.
Of what I'm literally in the last minute, I kind of changed my tune of what I was thinking. I could be completely wrong.
Okay.
But that's what I'm tasting right now.
Okay, so you said, to be clear, the single barrel.
John J. Bowman, yep.
And then the
small batch. The Bowman brothers.
The Bowman brothers.
Yeah.
And then you said the turkey was your last one.
Yep.
Okay. And so, like we said, with the points right now, the Bowman has 3 for me. Turkey has 2. Small batch obviously has 1 because it was my third place one. So, in reverse order,
I'm nervous.
Reveal what you put in.
I don't remember what letters are here. C.
So that's the small batch.
Ooh.
So small batch has 2 points. Small batch is definitely out.
Definitely out.
Small batch put last.
B.
That's the Bowman brother, the single barrel.
Ooh.
So you put turkey first.
First.
So what do we do now other than bring these two back out again because they tie in points again? You picked the turkey over.
That's crazy.
Single barrel.
Yeah.
Which I think you did last week too.
Yeah, for sure.
Until I kind of told you, and then you're just like, that one. That's why I want to take all the bias out of it. And
that's surprising.
So, and that was funny when I mixed them up. I didn't mix them up. I literally said, same order. And I picked them up and dropped them a couple of times on the bar. Yada. So, checked them, made sure all the numbers and letters were right.
So you're way better at this than me.
No, it's not. It's not about that.
So apparently, I like the Russell Reserve.
Yeah, you went right to that Russells. I could pick out the Russells. I could pick out how it was different. It was really easy if you have these. I think if you want to try to start getting into these, have an outlier like a 90 proof or something low that you can set out and be like, okay, this is what I taste with this one.
Yeah,
I knew as soon as I tried them with that middle glass or whatever, I was like, that's the low proof. That's the simple. And then I started to dive into the other two and tried to get what I got out of them.
So this was the.
I think it's really interesting. Yeah, the B batch or whatever you want to call it. And it was good. And today, the single barrel for me stood out against the turkey. Last week it was the turkey that night versus that one. So you never know what you're gonna feel. And tonight, Keith felt turkey. So we're gonna bring the single barrel back again. Eventually, we were talking about this. The single barrel is gonna be gone, and we're not gonna have a single barrel anymore to play with this. but we got to be fair with the 3 blinds again. And we'll try to pick one to go against these.
So the one that I thought that I was going to like the most is John Jay, which if you put in front of me, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so complex. The flavors
either one of those Friday night pours. For sure. Easy
absolutely.
Enough. So I think what we do is we crack a turkey single barrel or a Russell's 10 and do a Russell's single barrel Bowman for next time.
Yeah. Just to mix it up a little.
We'll pick one of the Russell single barrels.
Yeah.
And see if we can
mix it
flip some orders around a little bit. Maybe we'll do first place 5 points, second place 3 points.
We're gonna have to because
otherwise we'll just keep putting these 2 up on top.
John Jay Bowman's just gonna be here every single week. How many weeks is this that John Jay's been on?
6.
6
This is the sixth that it's still gonna be going.
So I mean, really, no matter what, if we can learn anything through this experience, is that John Jay Bowman is a really good bourbon.
And a bonus one that we'll do right now, since we've already got you guys for 35 minutes, and since you guys have stayed along this long, we really appreciate it. But I wanted to give. Do you have an empty?
Yeah, right here.
So I wanted to give Keith a little taste of this because you remember that this is your
John Jay
Bowman. I want to have Keith taste both of these Bowmans.
And they're both single barrels.
They're both single barrels, so they're both different barrels. Again, a little quarter-ounce taste. You know, we're not getting crazy.
To that.
Yep, and see how it compares. So I mix these up in my head. Ooh, I'm gonna just set this right here in front of me. I mixed these up when I did the podcast this past week. What I thought was which.
Whoa.
It's good. They're both very good.
Very different.
Both single barrels are good.
Very different.
Very different single barrels for flavors.
I'm not getting the honey sweet out of that.
I got honey with this one, and I got apple with this one when I did it on the podcast. When I was down here by myself. Yeah. But again, go back to back with them. You know, you might get different stuff and different smells.
See, when I smell this, and it's so weird because when we were just doing those blinds, I thought I had that honey smell.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I smell this, you get that honey all day long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be. A lot of people say it might be what you ate that day, what you drank that day. Stuff's going to change your palate and change how it feels in your mouth. And that's what's so cool about this is even with your daily, like I randomly was telling Keith last week that when I picked up a Russell's 10 the other day, I got peanut butter. I never get peanut butter with a Russell's product at all. And I got peanut butter the other night with it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe because of what I ate that day. I don't know. I can't remember if I had a peanut butter sandwich.
Going back to back, I'm going with the OG.
The OG one, which is what I picked the other night too.
Yeah.
You know, over this one. Good bottle.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good. Definitely got more complexity than the small batch.
Mm-hmm.
The small batch is a small batch. It's a very straight line, nice profile, but not.
It's not super complex, but an everyday drinker for how much?
Right around $27 plus tax. $30. Call it $30.
That's a good buy.
I think it's a good buy. And if you can find a Bowman, I think it's worth rolling the dice on one. You might find one of these at Sagma Bellies if Keith doesn't go back and get them. I'm not running back to get this. You know, just I have 2 of them.
Yeah, but you've given me enough bourbon to drink for like 3 months, so
that's okay. It's okay.
But I mean, overall, if you guys are looking for a really, just a quality bourbon that okay, so you walk into the liquor store and you're like, okay, I'm gonna spend between $40 and $60, and you're kind of nervous of like, hey, is this going to be a good bottle?
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong, in my opinion, with a Bowman. Whether it's the John Jay or the Bowman Brothers, you're not going to get a bad bottle for the money.
Mm-hmm. I say the same thing goes for the Russells.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You Russell's 10, 40 to 45 after tax.
Yep.
And then the store pick was 58, so getting on the top end like the Bowman.
Yeah.
But you can get a regular single barrel for right around 60, 58 or 60, typically. So it's going to vary and depend. Yeah. So, and the other thing is too about this is this store pick isn't 10 years old like the Russell's 10 is.
Yeah. What was that?
8 years? No, 8. It was 8.
I don't remember.
Let's see here. Yeah, 8 years.
8 years.
Yep. Distilled December 10th, 2013. dumped on September 1st, 2022, bottled on 10/12/2022. So
I'm getting more spice out of that second single barrel Bowman.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that.
Definitely more spice out of that one.
But it's spice and honey. I got
spice and honey, more spice on the front end
compared to the old one. I got like all apple the other night.
Yeah, just pure.
Just happened to be
just a lot of sweetness. Which, if you ever talk to my wife, she'll tell you I don't like sweets. So it's very weird to me that I gravitate towards that John Jay.
But it's not sugar sweet.
No.
When we say sweet, we're saying like brown sugar kind of sweet, kind of caramel, but not like
caramel,
but not like chewing on a caramel, like a Werther's or something like that. Yeah.
No, it's kind of like that subtle sweet that, and it lingers. That sweetness kind of lingers as it kind of runs through your mouth of that John Jay. But I like this bottle more. I think I just have a pretty bias towards that bottle because
there is some bias, but I mean, just like with this one, you said, I think this is my first. I think it's the Bowman single barrel.
And I was
and it was where your head was tracking with it, I think, which is really cool. That and that's why I love these blinds is you can see really what dives into it.
Yeah.
And what your palate's really craving. And that's why I tell you, don't go with what you think it is. Go with what your taste is telling you.
And in those blinds, that Russell's one
for you, yeah. And same thing for me. These were pretty close, like complexity and different stuff going on with them. But this one just stuck out to me as what I was feeling today. Maybe it's because I liked it on the podcast this past week.
Yeah.
As well, and gravitated back toward it, or maybe I've been. As you can see, I put a pretty good hurt.
You did.
It's good. I went back and got another one today. Don't tell my wife. By the time she sees this, it won't matter. But I actually was able to buy another one of those today. Had to buy another Rochester Whiskey Enthusiast store pick, to get it. But the one I got was a steal of a price. That was a steal of a price at $58. I think that's a great bottle.
It's definitely a great bottle.
And by the time you guys are watching this, those will all be sold.
Right.
The last of them are getting sold this week. The one I got was the last of the last 28. One of the last 28. So I have two of the whatever it was, 100-some bottles that was in that barrel.
Nice.
So if anybody wants a sample, I would be happy to peel them out a sample of this to try it if you like Russell single barrels.
Yeah.
I have nice little bottles I can send out to folks and stuff like that if people are interested in the samples. Or if there's something here that you see that, you might want to sample, let me know. Keith's been taking samples home with him. His wife keeps asking where all this whiskey's coming from. She thinks it's vegetable oil or something.
I was just telling Ben, so I got these two little taster bottles up on my workbench in my gun room, and I was working there on our bikes last night. She saw them there. She goes, "Is that vegetable oil?" Because it kind of did look like a little vegetable. I'm like, "No, that's bourbon." She goes, "Where the heck are you getting all this bourbon?"
Yep.
And I said, "Ben," which is funny because my wife hasn't even met Ben.
Yep.
She probably knows you as the bourbon drinking archery guy.
Probably.
So.
Probably.
Thank you, Ben, for having me.
Yeah, these are fun.
So much fun. Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have fun. This is a little bit longer one, but
I think it was good. We talked a lot about tasting and how that goes and how you kind of approach those blinds. And if you don't have a great whiskey challenge, one of the things that I used to do back in the day, just get yourself some garage sale stickers and put them on the bottom of your glass.
Yeah.
And that way you're color coded or numbered or whatever you want to do with them.
Unless you're colorblind like me.
Unless you're colorblind, then put a number on them or a letter, whatever. But the Great Whiskey Challenge is really cool. Really nice sample size glasses. We did a little bit less than the normal pour line in them, just because we're doing 3 of them and we got other stuff to do today. But I think this was a great episode. And thanks everyone for tuning in to this nearly 45-minute episode.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think, what you like, what you don't like, and maybe what you might want to see featured in one of these battles coming up.
Yeah.
So thank you all next time.
Thanks.
Thank you, and we will see you all next time on the Whitetails and Whiskey podcast down here at the bar, folks. So thanks, Keith, for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Take care, guys.